Okay, so hello everyone. Good evening. So I'm audible. Please, anyone
Yeah,
can
you are
confirm.
audible. Yeah,
Okay,
you are
okay.
audible.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So hello everyone. Welcome to our webinar on unleashing the digital spy and exploring the offensive OSINT strategies. I'm Nandini Bharadwaj, the operating officer at Cyber Warfare Labs, and I'm really excited to have you all here with us today. So let's get started. Okay, so before starting, I would like to give a little intro about our company, Cyber Warfare Labs. So, Cyber Warfare Labs is committed to addressing cybersecurity challenges with real time hands on solutions. Our virtual platforms allow users to refine their skills through plug and play practical labs and a diverse range of certification courses. So, you all can strengthen your cybersecurity expertise with Cyber Warfare Labs. And here you can see this is a basic structure of our company that consists of blue team, purple team, and red team, and all the major clouds that consist of Amazon, Azure, and Google. Okay, so let's move to our second slide. Okay. So before we dive into our main topic, let's introduce our speaker of today's webinar, that is Abhijit Kumar. So Abhijit Kumar is a Red Team intern at Cyber Warfare Labs, focusing on areas such as Red Team operations, network security, cloud infrastructure, and Linux systems. His passion lies in researching adversarial TTPs, that is, tactics, techniques, and procedure, and conducting experiments in his home lab. So, this is all about our speaker of today. And before starting, if you have any question related to any topic, feel free to ask at the end of the webinar. And also, you can type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar text box. Okay, and also in addition to that, we will also providing you the attendance certificate within 48 hours and video recordings for the same. So from here, without further ado, I would like Abhijit to take over and let's get started. Thank you all. I hope you will enjoy our webinar. Thanks.
Am I audible?
Yes, Abhijit, you are audible.
And can you see my screen, the slideshow?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, great. So, hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar. In today's webinar, we will be diving into some of the offensive side of the OSINT, which we can utilize as red team operators, pen testers, or even if you are threat analyst or bug bounty hunters, this will also be of your use cases. So before starting, there are some disclaimers which I would like to let you all guys know. So in some countries, even OSINT is illegal, and some of the tools and techniques that I'll be showing you that could also be considered illegal. So beware and be mindful of your local laws and make sure that you do your research on your local laws. Make sure that you are protected by the whatever laws in your countries are. And apart from this, all the tools and techniques, although they are very safe, you are advised to use them at your own risk. And we, me and Cyber Warfare Lab, we will not be liable for any damages that could be um, caused due to this particular material. And before starting, This is actually my very first webinar. I wanted to do presentation for a long time, but I never got the chance. So I would really appreciate if you guys could give me some feedback, like, okay, good, or nah, bad, or okay, like whatever you think. I'll be very delighted to hear all your feedbacks and um, like so. Apart from this, let's begin without further ado. So before diving into the topic of offensive OSINT, let's first see what actually OSINT is. So OSINT is actually extracting meaningful, actionable intel from publicly available sources. And these sources could be anything. These sources could be your social media platforms. These sources could be a book in a library. It could be a research paper. It could be anything that is openly and publicly available. So this is the meaning of the OSINT, and the emphasis or the operating word in OSINT is intelligence. Like, you can gather all the data you want. You can have millions of terabytes of data, but you have to extract some intel from that that is actionable, that you can use, whether it's your investigations or whether it's planning an attack, or like whether you are a defender, you want to study adversary TTP. So it comes down to how you apply the data you have gathered, and that is the operative word, intelligence. And why is it so? um I'll tell you a funny story. So a few years back, I used to like share a lot of information, like a lot. I used to like I'm traveling, I'm clicking selfies, I'm posting them on Instagram, Facebook, and at time I didn't realize I was sharing too much. But when I moved into the cybersecurity field, and I particularly connected with the OSINT, and I realized, okay, so this is something I'm doing that could be potential harm to me in near future, if not ever. So um, and like I change my pathways. I'm not sharing too much data these times, but people still love to share a lot of data, like a lot. And this is something that often lead them into trouble. If you guys are, I'm not sure if you guys follow Heath Adams, but he's on YouTube as the Cyber Mentor. And couple months back, he shared a video, and in that video, he covered how of pop star Papa Jones, I think, I'm not sure the name, that singer was murdered, and that is because he shared some photos, and some people found him at a vacation home he was staying at. So this is so real thing. This could happen to anyone. Like, we don't know what the person next to us or is thinking, or what anyone can do with access intel. So this is something to keep in mind while we dive into this particular webinar. And other things are there are lots of data sets available. Even the governments, public institutions, companies, they make some data available, whether it is your voter records, whether it's your other health records. Not health records, they are protected, but some extent they are still available. And the OSINT is your bridge which connects different data points and give you a full picture. You can think of it as a puzzle set. You have different puzzle pieces and you put them together to make a kind of a full picture. So that is the reason behind OSINT. And it's actually fun. It's internet, it's open for all, so why not use it to the full extent? Like, we all do searches. Like, I often do 10 to 15 searches a day minimum, and we all do searches, whether it is searching for sneakers, searching for food, ordering food, searching for something on Amazon, or whether it's Google. So we all do. So why not kind of polish our skills so we can actually be able to kind of see the hidden aspects of some things. So that is why OSINT. And with that, I would like to point out a very important thing, that misinformation is really dangerous and it happens a lot. And to um um I think last week I read a news report, and it was actually like when I was reading it, I found it very hilarious. It happened in USA. So apparently there was a lawyer who went to ChatGPT and he asked about a case filing and asked the ChatGPT to um, give him the case file, and apparently ChatGPT did so. And the lawyer actually went with that into the court. And after the proceedings, the judge asked, okay, give us some references for these points you are making, like what are the references. And the lawyer then again went back to ChatGPT and he asked, okay, you have given me this, now give me some references, some points of which I can prove in the courtroom. And apparently ChatGPT did so. Now the lawyer took whatever ChatGPT provided, produced, he produced it in front of a judge, and judge was like, "Are you kidding? I could like charge you for falsifying like court documents, and like this is something like I would tell you one thing. So like few months back, I was really bored, and I also like ChatGPT was very new. I think it was December. Yeah, I think it was mid December, and I was like bored one day, and I thought, okay, let's play with this ChatGPT. What is this trending? And I created an account on OpenAI. I logged into the ChatGPT. We started interacting, and after that, like after having some normal general questions, I moved into the domain field. And my domain is in particular offensive security, and I moved into that domain and I started asking questions. And ChatGPT was giving me answers. But what I found was like most of the answers weren't even related to the topic I was asking. And I only noticed this because I am kind of a domain, I have like kind of a decent domain knowledge in that field in which I was asking questions, and I was able to identify it. So since then, I am very careful whenever I deal with the chat GPT. It's not very often, but sometimes I do interact. So I'm like mindful of the fact that it could give me false information. And if I'm not a practitioner of that particular domain, or if I'm not aware of that domain, let's say I'm talking with ChatGPT regarding quantum physics or fluid mechanics or even biotech. Like these are not my field. We could converse. He could give me some answers, but how would I know like these answers are correct? And this is happening everywhere, not just ChatGPT. This was just an example. So misinformation you will see everywhere, like propaganda websites, conspiracy theory websites, even news outlets. Like it's everywhere. You just have to be very careful to identify it. Now, how will you identify it? So you have to first separate the fact. What is the fact? You have to separate some points. These points could be the fact, and then you have to double check, triple check these facts, and you don't have to rely on one single sources. Use two, three, four, five, six, as many sources as you can to properly vet your fact. Because if you get something wrong and if you believe it's true, it is really not a good thing, and it could um, do more damage in the future. So, and we will also see this very same thing while we dive into the PPT. So we'll see like there are some instances that I have uh, shared. So we will see that. Okay. And this brings us to most important portion of this particular webinar. And if you want to take one thing, just one thing away from this particular webinar, it's this section, operational security. So just focus on this, listen to this, and try to grasp the concept of this operational security. Because if you don't practice it really well, I think you could land yourself in um, trouble. So What is operational security or OPSEC? So let me give you one example. So um, we all browse internet. We have a router or like we have something in our home through which we connect, whether it's a router or whether we are having direct lines, like whether it is one-to-one line, like however we are leasing the internet, or whether it's your cellular connection, like your phones, for example. So however you are using it, it gives you one digital identity, that is your IP address, and your phone also has one digital identity, that is your MAC address of your network interface card. So these are the things that your ISP logs. And why ISP logs? Because they are actually required by law to do so. Like law says you have to log this traffic, and that's it, period. And like most ISPs are like known to um, cooperate with the government, law enforcement agencies, and the other investigation firms as well. So how could this damage? So there was a game very popular in India a couple years back, and the game was PUBG Mobile, and I used to play it, and it was a really fun game. So let's say ki I'm playing this game, I'm really bad at taking headshots. So now I went to Google, I went to my search engine, and I say, okay, how to take headshot, how to kill someone with a perfect headshot. Now the thing is like, how will the ISP know like whether this person is asking in context of a game, or like is it in context of like something nefarious, something illegal? They want to, but they will log it. And if someone asks them, okay, give me this particular searches, and this is also a real thing. So like apparently Google has been known to share details with the law enforcement agencies. And what Google shares is like, if law enforcement agency comes and they say, okay, give me all the people who search for this particular keyword. Let's say the particular keyword is how to kill with a headshot. Now you are in that list. Whether you meant it for that particular purpose or not, that doesn't matter, but you are in that list, you are flagged. And this is just one very small example in the larger scheme of things. And we do different things each day. Like some of our searches might not be considered legal. So like, and we will also see in the context of the OSINT, and I think we will have a couple slides where we'll see how some of the searches could be dangerous, but that's thing. So operational security is the measure by which you protect your sensitive classified information from getting leaked. And this is a practice, this is something you have to adopt. This is not something you can do just at once. It is something you have to make a habit of. Like uh, we'll see in the couple slides, but let's say you are browsing the internet. So connect a VPN first. Don't use simple your ISP only. So apart from that, let's dive into the OPSEC, how you can do OPSEC. So this particular OPSEC scenario, these particular OPSEC slides that I have created, they are in context for the OSINT only. And if you want to do red team operations, or if you want to like build a C2 server or C2 infrastructure, so that OPSEC will be a bit, not a bit, it would be a lot different from this particular one. But this particular one is focused for your OSINT only. So we often have like one or two devices. Most of the people have one devices. So I'll strongly suggest, don't use your personal device whenever you are conducting OSINT activities, OSINT research. Buy a second one. You don't even have to buy it first hand. You can buy it from eBay or whatever. You can even buy it refurbished from Amazon. So I would not suggest that, but still you have different options to buy your laptop or your desktop. So you bought a device, then what will you do? You will, if it is a Windows laptop, you will definitely begin the permission controls, data sharing, telemetry, because Windows is very big on the telemetry and the data logging. So you have to do that. You have to also make sure that your hard disk is encrypted at all times. just don't use a plain simple unencrypted hard disk, because if let's say law enforcement comes and they say, okay, give me your laptop, and if they sees it, they will be able to see everything that's on it, and that could lead you in trouble if you are working with the private law investigation firms, or if you are working as a red team operator or something. So it could land you in trouble, and your firm also, because some confidential proprietary data could also be on it. So make sure your hard disk is encrypted, make sure your OS is locked down, and on top of that, make sure that you have anti-tampering measures enabled. Like you can have some, you can set something so that you know, okay, if someone opened the keys, or if you are particularly keen about the bootloader, you can have something like anti-kill made, something like that, anti-evil made, something like that, so that you know, okay, if someone has tampered with my bootloader, I'll know, okay, it's tampered, this device is compromised. So we have set our device. Now what we have to do? So we obviously have to get some uh, piece of technology through which we can browse privately, if not anonymously. And there comes VPN, which is virtual encrypted tunnel between your device to the VPN server. Now, I would like to make some points here. So, if you are using an HTTP site, HTTP site, like that is your unencrypted site. So, your traffic from your device to your VPN provider server, that will be encrypted, but the traffic that will leave the server, that won't be encrypted. So if someone is tapping between the VPN server to the website, they will be able to see what exactly data is, and whatever efforts you have taken, like it would be kind of wasted. So this is the VPN, and in the right hand diagram we can see the same thing. So we can see that padlock sign is only between the client and the VPN server, and the tower is the ISP. After that, whatever traffic is leaving, it is as it is. Like if it's unencrypted, it is leaving like that. If it's encrypted, it's leaving like that. So that is the VPN. And after VPN, there comes the Tor, which is kind of your anonymizer. Like it helps you mask your identity. And let me emphasize that a VPN is not anonymous, because if you're using a VPN, you have certain patterns. You don't switch the VPNs. You're using the same provider, and with even with every connection you make to this provider server, your device is sending some sort of authentication information that I am this one. I have right to access this particular server, and that is the thing. Like even VPN providers are compelled by law sometimes to hand over the information, and we have seen that in the past. So there comes Tor to the rescue. So what Tor does is, you can think of Tor as a proxy. It simply channels your traffic between three particular server, and it practices the concept of secrecy. So no one knows what comes from who is in the back. They only know they have to forward this. So that is Tor, and you simply connect with the Tor. You get entry node, and after entry node, your traffic will be routed to a middle node, which will forward to the end node. And whatever website, whatever service you are visiting, they will only see the IP of your Tor exit node. That is your end node. However, like I'll make some point later on, like about how Tor can be compromised. But let's see a more optimal, a more well configured, and a well suitable scenario. So the scenario is we can combine VPN with Tor. So in this case, even if like, so in the case of the Tor, if you are using simply your ISP, they will know you are using Tor, and that is a thing. So if you're using VPN, so first you will connect to the VPN server, and after the VPN server, you will connect to the Tor. So what will happen is the Tor will see the IP of your VPN server, and that is of paramount importance, because if you are having a good VPN provider, which is keeping no logs, and they are situated in a country which is like not bounded by law to hand over the evidence at the whim of the enforcement agency. So you are at least some measure of safe. So this is how we can implement it. But then again, you have to follow certain measures here. So your VPN should be started first, and then you have to connect Tor. Do not connect Tor until you have confirmation that your VPN is connected and you are getting the IP of your VPN server. And after that, you can connect with the Tor and you can browse the internet, and then you will have a good measure of privacy plus anonymity. Now, um, a few months back I discovered something like, if and I'm not sure if any of you uses the Parrot OS, but if you use the Parrot OS and if you are using the announcer, so there is a probability that your IP address, your real IP address, could be leaked. And I actually discovered few months back, and I was running the announcer and it was working well. I got the IP of Tor node from that announcer IP, but when I did my local IP search, and I do this very often. Like, I always check, okay, I'm having this IP, I'm having this IP, okay, this is this. And I was running bare then, like I was not using VPN in that particular connection, and that's why I noticed, like I ran my IP check and I got my ISP's IP, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. This is really not good. And so, like, do not trust technologies to be like kind of a all one for all solution. Just this is the operational security aspect. Just make sure that you are safe, you're secure, and just make sure that you're not into any false assumption that I'm secure, because false assumptions could be very, very, very dangerous. And in the field of cybersecurity, they really are. So after that, we have configured our traffic channel. What comes next? Well, obviously, we need something to browse with. There comes the browser. And before, like, I'll not be telling you like which browser to choose. I personally prefer uh, Firefox, Tor, and Brave, and they're all mentioned in the last line of the this particular PPT. But whatever browser you are choosing, just make sure that you are customizing it for the purposes of the investigation. Like, it is properly configured and it is not having some trackers, some data sharing permissions are closed, and if possible, make sure that your WebGL is disabled, because I have discovered that your IP address could be leaked if you have the WebGL enabled. So, and apart from that, like, it depends on your threat model. Like, everyone's threat model is different. Mine is very different. Your could be totally opposite. So it depends upon individual to individual, and you have to figure out your threat model, and according to that, you have to plan. So there goes the browser. You can have anyone. Like, I'll strongly recommend not to choose Edge or Chrome, and that is because one's parent is like a major ad agency, and it's not their fault. Like, they have a business model to run, and they have to make certain adjustments to that. But it's all right. Like, I use Chrome, but not for the investigation purpose, and that is something you have to figure out. Like, which browser would be most suitable for my purposes, and only you can make these choices. Do research, figure out whichever you are comfortable with, and pick one. And after that, you have to make certain other changes. So this particular one, so this and the next slide is focused primarily on the Firefox, but I think a variant of these particular add-ons are available into the Chrome store as well, so you can also download it from there. So this is a tab container. This particular one, what it does, it isolates your cookies. So if you see into the middle, um, I'm not sure if you can see my pointer. Let me check. So if you check, if you could see the pointer, so you can see, like, in the middle slide, we are having personal, work, banking, shopping, Facebook, and these different are the containers, and your cookies for uh, sites you have enlisted or sites you have opened them, they live inside that particular container, and they are deleted once you delete your browsing history and all. So this is the tab container. I highly recommend you use at least one, so that if you are investigating multiple assets or multiple data points, each one of your data, it's not particular data, but each one of your website is having a separate container, and they're not talking to each other. Like, they're not sharing cookies, and this is I'm also a very um, not a good, but it's a thing in the real world. So have something like this. Make sure you are using it properly. Make sure your um, sites are not colliding with each other. Like this is just a better optic. It depends on ultimately you how you implement it, but that's so okay. I have to disable this. Okay, and then user agent changer. So I used to wonder, like, how does this website know which browser I'm using? Like, how does it know I'm using Chrome, or how does it know I'm using Firefox or Opera or like Brave? How does it know? And I did some research, I dig up, and I came to know, okay, so whenever we are making a request to any website, our browser sends a user agent, which says, I am this browser, serve me content which is more optimal for me. So if you're using your if you're doing some searches on the mobile phone, it will send I'm mobile. Show me in this particular dimension on. Don't show me 16 into 9, show me 4 into 3 or whatever the dimensions are. So this is how um, it all started, and this is how you can also leverage it. So if you are using Firefox and you need to access some content which is only visible on the Chrome, so you can use this particular add-on user agent switcher, and then what you can do is like you can spoof your agent and make it look like it's Firefox. No, it's Chrome, not Firefox, and the browser will say, okay, you are Chrome, I'll serve you this content. So this is another of the things. And on this note, I would like to make a very important point. So do not cram your um, browser with too many add-ons. Every browser has a fingerprint, and the more unique your fingerprint is, the easily you are identifiable. It's just like having a distinct mark or having a distinct tattoo or something like that. It's the very same thing with the browsers. And this is also how Tor tries to make the user anonymous, because if you're using Tor, almost all of the browsers are alike. So it is very difficult to identify a user um, when they are using Tor, but it's possible. Like it has been done in the past, and I'm sure like technology has moved very ahead, but like still like you can confuse them. Like so that's the actually point. You have to kind of blend in. You do not have to stand out. You have to blend in, and that's the point of this. After that, you are done with all this. You have configured your device. You have started VPN. You have Tor. You have configured your browsers. Now, how will you interact with the websites? Do you use your real name, your real phone number, your real email ID? Obviously not. We will create a artificial or fake persona that is commonly known as sock puppet. And you can see in the pictures like there are cute five very nice socks that have been made into puppets. So this is actually how we are also trying to kind of mislead, misdirect that this person is not me, I'm this. And this is the concept of this sock puppet, and we mainly use them to protect our real identity, to minimize our to like strengthen our threat model, to minimize the attack surface. And these identities are not made for using on regular basis. These are made so that when you are conducting an investigation, you use your sock puppet, you log into the website, whether it is Facebook, Insta, whether it is LinkedIn, or whether it is Twitter. You logged into this website using your this persona sock puppet account, and then you kind of did what you did, and then you logged out. And this is to be done on your secondary device, because if you are using primary device, most of these sites you could have logged in, and after that they have your fingerprint, they have your signatures, testing signatures, your typing patterns, like they have a lot of things on you. And if you use the very same device to do your investigation, they will know it's you. You will be related, you will be sitting somewhere on a data point. Okay, this person is related to this person is an alias of this. And when we are investigation when we are investigating, this is something we should really avoid linking our activities to our real account, because it could be really bad. And we should try to prevent this sort of scenario where someone is able to link our um, activities with our real profile. So just keep this in mind, and move on to the next slide, that is using the sock puppet. So um, we basically have to blend in with the normal users. As I have already mentioned, we do not have to stand out, and we do not have to use our own details, nothing like a name. You can use a fake name if there is a requirement of an address. There are basically fake dash, fake star generators all over the internet. Fake name generator, fake address generator, fake home generator, fake interior generator, like fake face generator even. So um we have a lot of options, but one thing I would like to say about the fake face generator is I actually I was very intrigued by this particular one, like how AI is kind of creating these images from the scratch, and is there some sort of pattern, and I detected one. So if you look into any of the images that are generated by um, a fake face generator, you will see that the eyes, they are always on the same line, like they align perfectly, like in a straight line. In some, like, if you have an opportunity, just look into it, just measure it, and you will see what I am talking about. So it is something to be mindful of, because I am really sure that social media platforms or the website you will log on to, they also know this. So this could flag you as a sock puppet account or a fake account. So with this, let's move on to this particular quotation. And since we're running a bit late of time, so I'll try to move a bit fast. And if you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat. And after the webinar material is summed up, then we can uh, look up these questions, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. So this particular quotation, when I first read it, I was like, okay, this is not possible. Like a human action cannot be devised this easily. And then I started kind of analyzing my own actions, and I noticed, okay, there is a pattern. Like this action was there, this particular action was there, this particular action was there. Okay, this was this, and ultimately it's like true, like old philosophers, they really were called philosophers for a reason. And if we take the case of this particular webinar, so I am here because it's my passion. It was my desire to present, and I'm doing that. And it could be your passion, so you are here to listen. And it was my chance, I stumbled upon this internship and I got the chance to present. So this is um this is kind of dictation of the actions. But yeah, like it's really true. Like I'm not sure like whether it applies to everyone. It applies to me, and I'm pretty sure like it applies to a large number of people. So with that, let's move on to the main topic, the main stuff for which I'm sure like you all guys have joined. That is the offensive OSINT, and it is something of a concept where we use the OSINT, and we use it for the purpose of conducting red team operations, where we try to find out the um, client's weaknesses. We check their attack surfaces, we check their online presence, we check their social media, their website, we check not website, like website could be a bit of an active, but like, there are ways to check a website. Like there is one very good website, that is urlscan.io, and if you go to it, if you put an URL into it, you can see a snippet, snapshot, not snapshot, a glimpse of the website that is actually being opened. So that is how we can also see this. But the main motto, the main stuff of this particular offensive OSINT is we have to think like an adversary when we are analyzing a piece of data. It could be anything, but we have to think from the perspective of an adversary. And this could be really hard. Like it used to be hard for me. Now it's kind of a I think second nature. Like whenever I'm seeing a new piece of technology, I'm like, okay, how can I hack it? How can I crack it? And after doing that, I'm okay, how can I secure it? So it has kind of become my second nature. But I used to struggle with this particular concept with a lot. Like, how can I think like an adversary? I'm not an adversary. I haven't done any crime. How will I fit into those particular shoes? And you have to but it's not that much hard. So when we are doing OSINT, we have to think like adversary. Like, okay, is this piece of evidence that could give me the leverage I need to get into that particular organization's infrastructure, or is this particular piece of information is it something I can use to compromise that individual and execute a social engineering scenario? So these are the kind of stuff that we will be kind of looking into this particular stuff. And with this, here comes my hate to love, love to hate kind of topic, that is data breaches. And data breaches, they happen a lot. At least every once, twice, thrice a month, I hear at least one data breach in a corner of the world. And it happens we will not dive into why it happens, but we will see how it um, is an advantage for us. Because when an organization is breached and the hackers or the threat actors exfiltrate the data, they take the data. Most of the data is classified, proprietary, sensitive information. It could include the user's username, password, email address, date of birth, social security number, Aadhaar number, PAN card number. It could be their credit history. Like it could be personally identify information and personally identifiable information. And do pardon me, my English is not very good. I'm not a native speaker, so please bear with me. And I really appreciate you guys for this, for joining this particular webinar. So let's move. So these particular piece of information that are exfiltrated by the hackers, they end up somewhere. And in my opinion, the dark web marketplaces are the space where most of the trades happen for this particular uh, kind of scenario, for the username, password, or for the data breach material. And a lot of ransomware groups and a lot of APTs, they buy these stuff, because why else would you spend 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, or even a year trying to scan an organization, trying to figure out their attack surface, trying to find a vulnerability, when you can simply get in with just a username, password? Like, what's easier than that? And so this is how it um is for advantage for us. Like if we are let's say, if I am red teaming ABC corporation, and what will happen is I'll go to the dark webs. And also, before that, I would like to make one point: we will not be discussing about the dark web marketplaces. And this is, I think, the last place where we will hear the word dark web. I think not, I think there is one more, but yeah. So I'll go to the dark web marketplace. I'll look for the data breaches, breach dump, data dump, and I'll look, okay, is this organization, or is this individual, or is this particular technology, whatever I'm researching for. It could be an individual, it could be a group, it could be a company, it could be anything. Is it there? And there are also some clear net websites, Have I Been Pawned? And there are other also website, there is Dehashed, and there is one other that is recently spun. So it is illicit dot services. Um it is Intelex but for fee. So basically it's this same thing, but for free. Like it doesn't charge as much, it is essentially free. So yeah. So I'll go to these sites, I'll check, okay, is this particular piece of data that I'm trying to find or I'm trying to connect, is it there? And if I find it, my works is easier and easier. Because what most people do is, if let's say, I'll talk about a very real scenario. So um, let's say this is an organization and we have a password policy, and let's say we have a password policy that every password has to be changed 30 days, 60 days. Now personally I believe this mandatory password reset is a really bad thing, because most people are not tech savvy. They do not take much care of the password. They just append one or two letters, or they just swap the letters, mix something up, and essentially the password is kind of like the same thing with maybe soya sauce or maybe tomato sauce on top of, and it's the similar stuff. And I have actually seen it in one of the organization, like they had a mandatory password reset thing, and most of the users they were having the same password, but just they were appending some stuff either to the front or to the end, and just moving some letters around, and the password was exactly the same. So if we have a good permutation algorithm, or if we have a good permutation cracker, we can simply throw those dumb extracted passwords, and then we can simply kind of get a good word list kind of thing, which we can use against this target. So after data breaches, this is one of my favorite things. And if anyone from Google is listening, I am really thankful for you guys for all those search operators. They make my life so easy. Like, you guys index, you guys have search operators. I just have to figure out how and what operators will help me get information. And just that, I don't have to search through 178 pages, 2000 pages. I don't have to go through all that. So you guys have my respect for that. Like, really appreciate you guys for um, making this advanced search feature available. Like, it is a game changer in this industry, in my opinion. All right. So what is Google Document? It is simply we are using some search operators that are provided to us by Google, and we are extracting the information from the websites, from the corporations, or from the different databases, like, wherever we want to extract this data from. So we can simply type in a few operators, and after that we can simply get the desired, or if not desired, optimal or relevant data from this particular query. And these dockings are, I call them query, and you can call them whatever as long as they work. And that is something you have to figure out what and how you want to find the piece of information you are looking for. And with this, offensive security has a community driven Google hacking database, and people contribute to this database with their particular Google Docs or Google queries, and it is one of the largest. Like, I haven't seen something which is having this much query and that is publicly available. Someone might be holding it somewhere in a private vault or somewhere, but it's public and it's free and it's community driven. So if you find something that is interesting, put it there. Maybe I'll use it, maybe someone else will use it, and maybe they will thank you if you are not putting your name as anonymous. That is all right. So after that, let's see some of the queries. These are very basic queries. I have simply extracted them from the Google hacking database. I haven't run any of my queries. These are all queries available in the Google hacking database. You can look them up and you can see, like, I'm running query, I'm getting results, and these results are very customized, and like, I have discovered very sensitive, very proprietary, very classified information by using Google docking. And like, every time I find such information, like, it's like something like, I do not want to see, but it is like something I have to see, and maybe you guys like to see or will see. So yeah, so like, just one thing I remembered, and it is from the Spider-Man. So Mary Jane says to Peter Parker, "With great power comes great responsibilities." And so whether if you discover something that is sensitive, publicly exposed, that shouldn't be there, just make sure to report it to relevant authorities, because see it. It is someone else's data this time. You could be that someone next time. So with this, let's move on. And there comes my favorite social network. Whenever I'm looking into the red team or adversary emulation or even the pen testing kind of scenario, because if you are a company that could afford pen testing, you will have a good presence on the LinkedIn. And if you are a company which can sanction or which can ask someone to conduct red team operation, you will have a very strong presence. And that is like something like, because okay, let's not dive into that, that is another thing. But that is where the LinkedIn comes. So we are a company, we have employees, and we say, okay, you can post it as you are working with us for this particular position or this blah blah blah, and employees do this, and it is kind of a virtual resume, if you ask me. Like people put all these details there, recruiters look them up, they find, and it is like that. So like, even I found this particular opportunity with the cyber warfare labs thanks to the LinkedIn. So it's a really powerful, really powerful social media platform. And this social media platform is one of the best for mining data if you are conducting pen testing or if you are conducting a red team operation. And that is because we will see that in the next couple slides. But for this slide, I'll also like to mention one thing. So to this state, as far as my memory serves, LinkedIn has been into at least two data breaches. And these data breaches are something to watch out for, because these data breaches were really nasty. Like I think LinkedIn was actually using MD5 to store the hashes. No, like I'm not blaming them. It's the right, however they want to secure. Although MD5 is not a good choice for a password hashing algorithm, if you ask me. But all right. So with this, let's move on to the next slide and be prepared to be shocked. So we are having a company page. We can find employees which are part of this particular company, and employees, because they are human and they have a tendency to share. They share things on LinkedIn, and sometimes they share office images, sometimes they share their tech stack. It could be I'm getting a Palo Alto this certification. Okay, now I know for sure that your organization is using this. I got this Splunk this certification. Okay, now I know for sure that your organization is using Splunk. These are the data points that I'm collecting. But this is something very little to what people actually post, and it is, again, it's not people's fault, because most people are again not tech savvy. They are not aware of the risk, because no one has told them. Like if someone would have told me 10 years ago, "Okay, don't use Facebook, they mine your data," I might have laughed, but I could have considered it. Like there was possibility, but no one told me. I use Facebook and they obviously have a lot of my data. So, and if you just want to know the extent of this, I think there is a great documentary on Netflix. I think the name is The Great Hack. It covers the 2016 US elections and the uh, magics of a company named Cambridge Analytica. So, if you have a chance, you could look this documentary up. It is something will open your eyes to some extent. All right. And now, like these are the things, and also, yeah, like LinkedIn allows hashtags, and I'll show you how we can leverage that. So from this, we can go to this particular one, and we can see like this is Cyber Warfare Lab. This is our company, and we can see, okay, we have 7 employees. Well, we have a lot more employees than that, but only 7 people have chosen to add this particular one to their profile, and that's all right. So LinkedIn um, has given you one very interesting thing. So you can search, and this search is really useful when we are searching. So in the rightmost slide, in this slide, this north side, this image, you can see that I have searched for a skill that is named as Python, and two employees have it out of seven. So it is a very easy filtering, sorting kind of thing. And when you are working uh, for a Fortune 500, Fortune 50, Fortune 10 companies, these numbers, these skills, these data sets, these grow to very large amount of numbers, and then it could be very interesting. And then here comes a very like I'm not so when I was actually putting together this PPT, I really wasn't sure whether I should include these images in this particular PPT, because see, these images are really compromising. Like I can tell you for a fact that in at least one of the image that I have shared is from someone who is at a very high position in their government, and they have a very um high secret clearance as well. So and this is from like one of the images is from that person. Like I was terrified, like someone with that particular position of like government status could post something like this. And it's a thing, like if people who are at the hierarchy, like who are at the top, they could do this. So it's really not a good scenario out there. And if you look into the images, we can see various things. We can see employees access cards. These access cards are used to access the networks remotely. And um, the really images behind, like the portion I have cropped is really bad. And this is my humble request to all of you guys. If you know some magics through which you can deobfuscate this, please don't. Like it is kind of a burden, because see, I know these things, and it has kind of become a liability, because I have seen these things. I have like it's not really good stuff. So it's something you have to live up with. All right, so apart from let's not divert from the topic. So we can see various juicy information, from one of the laptops, from the bottom left laptop, we can see that entire company nomenclature is highlighted. Like if I am a red team operator that is about to target that particular company, I have at least a very good idea how I can impersonate. And one other thing is most of these laptops, most of the people who share these laptops, they receive it as a welcome kit. There are also other things which could give me more insights on what tech stack or whatever procedure, like how they are allowing the employees to connect to the network, and how various methods. Most of these stuff I can think of are not OSINT, they are more of active sort, so let's not dive into it. But I would like to point your details to this particular middle one. So I can say for a fact that this is from someone who lives in India, because they are using Swiggy. And Swiggy is a food delivery application, and it is used by I think thousands of people, if not millions. Like it is a really popular application in India. And this person has shared some screenshot, and he forgot to crop the top of the screenshot. Just give me 1 minute. Let me have a sip of water, then I'll continue. Okay, so um Swiggy is a really popular application, and this person just put it out there. And I know for a fact, one of my friend who is a bug bounty hunter, and he's really good at what he does. He showed me something last year, um, related to Swiggy, and he showed me how he could access, and only if he has the person's phone number, how he could access their entire order history, what they have ordered, how much they have ordered, from which restaurant they have ordered. where they live. Like he had access to um a very good amount of information, and he reported it to Swiggy. I'm not really sure what happened after that. I didn't follow up, but this is something that happened, and I know for a fact that this kind of stuff happens. Like we might not know about 0 day, and someone could be having it, and then if they see, okay, this person is using this application, okay, we could use it, but it's highly unlikely they will waste a 0 day on individual. Like it's unless the individual is of very high importance to them. But all right, like in other images we can see device details, browser tabs. Like I can simply see, okay, this company is having these applications, these tech stacks, and these different stacks, like these softwares, and these laptops, these operating systems, they're having these, and it's like kind of all right. And then comes Discord, and this is very important to mention because if we have someone's username, most people, this is my observation, this is not like I'm saying it on authority, but this is my observation that most people, they prefer to have a single username across at least 2 3 social media platforms, and they switch only if they don't get the same one from the other social media. And this happens really a lot. Like I have seen many instances, like I can even count how many people I have seen with the same handles across all the social media platforms, all the um, other applications, like wherever they have to use a username. So it kind of builds a fingerprinting profile, but that is also out of the scope of this webinar. But Discord is important because people connect their accounts, and this is of utmost important, and we'll see the same thing in the next slide. So in the next slide, in the first one, let me bring out that particular spotlight. So in this one, I know, okay, I know you listen to this song. This could be something I could leverage. I know if I'm kind of having a like not crawler, like if I'm having kind of a tab which will let me know whenever you are changing song. I have your playlist. I could figure out what songs you listen, and it also like helps me build a profile if I'm into that kind of stuff. So it's really something that is not good. All right. So in different images, we can see in this second image, I can see Spotify. I think the second one is Stream. I'm not sure. I think it's Stream. The third one is Twitch. The fourth one is Twitch, and the fifth one is Twitter. Okay. This person has connected 5 accounts. Okay, now I know 5 accounts that are your own. And in some of the images, the people have had different usernames, and that is why what like gave me a chuckle. It was more of a chortle actually. Like I was like, okay, like what's the point if you're having different usernames? Like you have still linked them one place, and it is available. Anyone who is able to look it up. So all right, like I'm sure this particular one is PS4. I'm not sure. Like I haven't played PS4, so I think this is the same logo. And this one is again Twitch. This one is Xbox. This one is YouTube. Okay, you have also linked your Google account. Really cool. And what's a very interesting thing about Google is most, not most, I'll say like if I meet 100 people a day, um, in bad days, 100 out of 100 have a Google account and nothing else. Like they have one account or two account and they use it everywhere. So yeah. So all right, and in this particular one, we can see, okay, this one is Spotify, then Twitch, then Twitter, then YouTube. All right, okay, GitHub. Now this is interesting. I can look up your projects. I can see which organizations you are part of and like what you have been doing, and that is also something is very interesting. And in this particular one, we can also see like I'm not sure like why this happened. Like in like I'm not really sure. I have to dig into this, but this one was showing all these details. Maybe they haven't configured their privacy settings yet, and that is why the Twitter was displaying all these details in a Discord API calls, responses, whatever that is. All right. So I can see, okay, you have these tweets, you have these much followers. All right, that is totally fine. And I'm not able to recognize most of these. This one thought I think it is PS4. Not sure what the first second one is. This is Spotify. This is your stream. Wait, is that TikTok? Yeah, it's TikTok. And it's really hilarious. Someone would connect their TikTok knowingly, given the conspiracies, not conspiracies, given the facts that are rotating this particular application. And like I would never. And then they have no privacy, so I can see followers, following, likes, and all these stuff. So all right, like too much data. And that is how we started this. People share too much data, and this is really too much. After that, let's move into some of the organization attack surface mapping stuff. Those slides were mostly for the people, and now let's move into the process and technology. Not process, let's move into the technology. So who is this something which holds the records of a domain? Whenever you buy a domain, it is getting leased to you, and your details are fed to the main registry, whatever the registry is, and then your details are um, listed on a publicly exposed server. And this is public information. Anyone could look it up. It is not something that is proprietary or confidential. And you can also like kind of hide it. Like there are proxy wise services. I think privacy protection is the name, not the privacy protection of incognito tabs, if that is what you're thinking. But this one is good. Like it hides your details, which we will see in the next slide. So you can see, okay, so our website was registered on this particular, okay, let me bring out that particular highlighter again. So our website was registered on this particular date. It was updated on this one, and they updated it for 2 years, and again they did it for 2 years. So we know for a fact that the whoever is operating the domain, they are registering it for 2 continuous years. like uh, I think you have a option from 1 year minimum to 10 years maximum. I think that is what. But we can see, okay, this is the registry. GoDaddy was the registrar, and then we can see like the details are hidden. So this is the proxy that I was talking about. So you can hide your details, and it won't be a nuance, and your details will be masked. Proxy address will be put, and if like that is the magnet is like it's not very relevant in modern scenario unless you are doing threat intelligence, or you are figuring out once when a domain was registered. Like if you received a mail from a domain, you will check, okay, was this registered recently or something like that, and that is the kind of this stuff. So let me put this back. Like, it's really annoying why I can't change slides without putting the highlighter back, but all right. So domains, and with domains come subdomains. And what are they? They are children of the domains. That is all, nothing else. But most of the cases I have seen, subdomains are they're often used while we are integrating the third-party services. If you are having let's say if you are connecting your office, or if you are connecting any of your integration Atlassian, or your Zoho, or your Salesforce, or like whatever third party integrations you are making, it is something like Dash, like not Dash. Let's imagine our integration is acme.example.com. These are the kind of example of the subdomains you will see. And in the um, next slide, I think you will see some of the real examples. So in and let me bring back my spotlight again. So in this one, you can see um, at Cyber Warfare Labs, we are having different subdomains, and these are publicly available. Like, see, the purpose of OSINT is to find the details which is publicly available, and the main focus of OSINT is to use that information that is publicly available to gain some critical insight, some kind of intelligence that you could apply in a real world scenario. So that is the point. And I also said always verify, always check, always kind of do double check, triple check, use multiple sources to verify. So in the left one, we can see I use cert.sh. It is usually used for looking the your TLS certificates, because SSL is kind of depreciated. So you can see your TLS certificates, issuer, and when they will be expired and all these stuff. But what is main thing is matching identities. So the first one star dot is wildcard, but after that we can see like we have different emails, and email dot kjbm. Okay, this could be some kind of third party provider that we kind of integrated. And fluke, this could be some kind of softwares that we kind of integrated, stuff like that. And in this one we can see like we have identified these many subdomains, like and this is only from kind of your 1712. So it is kind of your 17 from 17 December we are using this much, and it contains a record of all of your domains for which HTTPS cert has been issued for, no matter the provider. Let's encrypt Google, Cloudflare, not Cloudflare, right? Because unless you are using their paid SSLs, like they use a generic one which is to their organization. But yeah, like that's that. Okay. So in the left one we can see like these many subdomains, but in the right one we can see only one, cyberwarfare.live. Okay. So this is how you have to think whenever you're doing OSINT. Do not trust one source. If I would have tested only this particular one, I think the this particular tool, I think it was Sublister. I'm not sure it was Sublister or Harvester, but it was one of those two, and I searched it on the Brave search engine. So that was my source. But you can see I got only one result returned back, and in this one I have more than 10 at least, at the very least. So this is how you have to also be very vigilant when you are conducting investigations or operations, that make sure that you are checking the sources, you are using multiple sources, you are not relying on just a one, because it would be um, you won't be getting the full picture. You will be getting a chunk of the puzzle piece, and then you will be wondering, okay, you will think, okay, this is the whole puzzle, but it would just be a piece of a puzzle, like a small cog in the big machine kind of thing. So let me put this spotlight back. Let's move on. And I really apologize. Like the webinar was planned for 1 hour, and then we started a bit late, and we are already at 10:18. So I'll try to wrap it up as soon as possible. So please bear with me. And once again, apologies on my behalf for dragging this one this much longer. So then comes the DNS records, and they are very important, and we'll see that in just a minute. But they basically kind of translates the IPs to the addresses which server can understand, because which a human can understand, because like server understand IPs, they understand binaries, but our mind cannot process those. Like my mind cannot process. I'm not sure about you guys, but my mind cannot process all those binaries. Like it would be a headache for me. So um DNS records are like very useful, very informational, and they give away a lot of information. Let's see this. So this one is DNS record for our website, and this is from the same whois website. The website is who.is, and I really like it because it whenever I'm querying it for the whois information, it already has a tab which shows me, okay, this is kind of your DNS record. It doesn't give you a full picture, but um like this one is a good picture, not the best but good one. And it also has a diagnostic option, like you can kind of do ping trace routes. I don't recommend you do that, but if you want, like totally up to you. But in the right one, and this one is from the DNS dumpster. So we can see, okay, these are the DNS servers who is also gives that, who is also gives that 4 mail servers. Okay, these are the mail servers, but DNS dumpster is giving us DNS information. I can see, okay, this is owned by Google, and this is the host name of this particular server, mail server. All right, text records. MS equals to this. If I have to take a guess, I'm not familiar with what is this particular MS. I could go on a hunch and say it is something Microsoft related. Could be like I'm not really sure about that one, but for the second one, I'm really sure it is for Google Analytics. Yeah, either it is for analytics or it is for AdSense. I'm not I'll put my money on analytics. But yeah, like that's that. And then we are using, okay, this is the like a sender policy framework that this particular organization's mail server is using. And if I have to see, I can spot a tilde, so it is a kind of a relaxed one. I think the minus is kind of the strict one. It drops anything that is not uh, that doesn't checks out. But all right, so it also give us post records. We can see cwlab.cyberwarfare.live. Okay, all right. Okay, I think I skipped. And we can see, okay, we have this Microsoft Corporation, MSN ES block. This could be something of for this particular verification, because whenever you are using services on a domain, they ask, how do I know you own this domain? Then they give you a text record. They say, okay, put this there, or they give you a CNAME record. They say, okay, just add this CNAME, use it as a redirector. We will redirect this subdomain to this. And this is very common while using the S3 buckets. When you are using S3, you can put it as a CNAME and the request will be redirected and all. Okay, so let's keep this CW lab and just let's go back a couple slides. So we can also see that the CW lab is here, so it checks out. But all right, and then after the DNS domains, the IPs, target has a website, and if they have a website, they are using certain technologies, and these technologies could be the pivotal point, or they could be a point through which we could get initial footholds. And we will see the movement by that or so. Just to be sure, like what I'll show you could be misdirecting, maybe. Okay, let's get to that once we get to that particular side. But tech stack is really important. We could figure out the configurations, we could figure out the softwares, and if we are doing a social engineering operation, or if we are running a phishing attack, we can kind of leverage those tech stacks to um, kind of pose as one of someone from this company or something like that. Like, you get the idea. All right, so these two screenshots, not screenshot, yeah, let's call them screenshots, I know. So these two piece of tech stack is from our own website, and I can see Google Analytics. Okay, I think that was verified. And Google Analytics 4, okay, they are using version 4, global site tag. Okay, they are using site tag. Okay, they are also using Sales IQ, and Sales IQ is kind of a Zoho infra application where you can have, where you can a kind of track a visitor on the site, how long they were, what did they interact, are they returning. You can also handle the chatting. If they trigger a chat, you can also do that from the sales cycle. I have done some system administration for these Zoho ones. I'm a bit familiar with this, so it's a really interesting piece of software, and there are some ways you could mislead the operator into revealing sensitive information without much of an effort. But that is that. Let's move to other one. So Google Analytics GA4, all right, just deliver Cloudflare. Okay, we already know you are using Cloudflare. But JavaScript libraries. Okay, now I have the version numbers. Now these version numbers could be useful, they could be helpful, or they could be something that are either set up as a honeypot. Like, they upgraded the version numbers, but they didn't updated wherever they updated the software, the libraries, but they didn't update the configuration file where the version numbers are stored. So this is something that is very possible. And I have seen it on different engagements. The fingerprinting said one thing, but they said, okay, no, this is not, we have fully patched, we are not using this version anymore. So this is something we can kind of keeping it out, but it is a really good point to start. And at the very least it is giving us the tech stack that they are using. So and like all of this we have done without even interacting with the website, and that is really something that fascinates me about the OSINT, because I'm not interacting with the website in any manner. I haven't even touched the website. I don't even know how the website actually looks like, but I have all this information. So that is something that is really fascinating. And after that comes the man, the myth, the legend, the time machine. And I call it time machine because that's what it actually does. So if you go to archive.org, you can capture a website's a screenshot, and this screenshot will be available, I think, till the end of time, because I think they have peta, penta, zettabytes of storages that they are actually using. Um, like they have like really big storage, like something that could rival some of the big corporations even, if not be. All right, so this is what the Wayback Machine is. You can go to it, you can put a site's URL, it will capture that website, full website, and it will be frozen in time until someone else goes back and retrieve it. So it doesn't actually affect the functionality of the website. It just kind of stores a snapshot. So if you are familiar with the concept of the virtual machines or VMs, like if you have used either Workstation Pro or VirtualBox, you might have seen you have the ability to kind of take the snapshot, and you can go back to the snapshot once you have kind of reverted, like once you did something, some messy stuff, and you could go back to the snapshot, and it will be like back to the like a point where you saved it. And if like if you are using virtual machines and these virtualization hypervisors, and if you are not taking the uh, benefit of this snapshot feature, I couldn't tell you enough the importance of this. Like, see, I have made some mistakes when I was initially learning. Like, um I used to use VirtualBox at that time, and I still do to this very day. So um, I had this snapshot feature. I didn't knew what it does, and I was learning Linux. It was somewhere around 2014, 2015, and I started to learn Linux. And my first one was Kali Linux, and it went poorly. I used to spend at least 2 3 hours one each day just configuring the machine back after I did something from scratch, because see, I didn't knew there was something like snapshot. I didn't knew I could do this, I could freeze this, and like it was a good learning. Like I learned from my mistakes, like but still, like if you want to avoid some mistakes, like spending your nights with a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and you are doing the same thing, like it's like you're in a loop. You are doing this today in the morning, and then you did something at your OS broke, and you're again doing this in the night. So it is kind of very amusing now I think of it, but believe me, it was not at that time when I was learning Linux and the hypervisors and this particular stuff in general. All right. So this one is again from our own website, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images here. So in the first one, okay, let me bring out that particular spotlight, and we'll end the session very soon. And I'll also like take your leave in like couple minutes. I have to go to washroom really urgent. Like I hope you guys don't mind. I'll just go after this particular slide, and I'll just finish this webinar as soon as possible. I'll try to finish it within the next 10 to 15 minutes, and really appreciate your patience once again for bearing with me. So, all right. So this one is having all the dates where the snapshot was captured. And one thing I really love about the Wayback Machine or archive.org is it doesn't just captures the site snapshot. It collects telemetry statistics, and these tells us a lot. So in the left one, this one, we can see different URL, and I am getting these different URLs without even browsing or without even doing a directory posting. I haven't done any of that till now. I haven't interacted with the website at all, and I have all this information at my laser. I think laser is all right, we're not sure, but and I have all these paths and all these stuff. And I have also this I have the MIME types, the content types, which content types are being used on the website. I also have information of the capture, when was the capture made. And this last one, this is a really interesting thing. So this one in the center, it is something that was initially made. After that, these spikes you see, these are the kind of the folks, these are the um paths, these are the URIs, URLs, which have been kind of changed since then. So Wayback Machine also contains a weight, so you can analyze the website, you can compare the different components, and then you can say, okay, they changed this. Okay, why? You have different, everyone has different way of looking at things, and um, once you have all of this data, all of this information, it really gives you a broad perspective. And with these words, just excuse me for 2 to 3 minutes. I'll be back just in a minute, just in a jiffy. Am I audible? I was just on a break, I took a bathroom break.
Yeah, yeah, you are audible.
Okay, so just give me 1 minute. Let me see how many slides are remaining. I just want to finish this because attendees are yeah. All right. Um, yeah, I think we don't have much slides. I think we'll go through this one very fast. All right. So after that we have shouldn't I really absolutely love this particular piece of monitoring platform, for the lack of better words. You will see in the next slides why I love when I am um, on an engagement or when I'm doing research. Like this is a very something that has uh, that was like actually, if am being honest, was kind of creepy once I came to know about it, but it really became very friendly to me. I'll show you why. So it is a kind of a database where not database, it is kind of a live um, platform where it scans and records details of the um, every device that has an IP address, and that is all. Like if a device has an IP address, you have like there is a high probability that that device is on Shodan. And let's see how. So and then left one, this one. Okay, let me bring out that particular one. That is just a simple IP search. Like that is one of the basic queries. You simply put an IP into the Shodan, and it will kind of give you these details. These ports are open. This is the host team. This is the ASN where it is situated. All this, like, all right, I could get it from other sources. That is one of the very simplest ways, but it still helps. But to get the most out of Shodan, you need to have one account. I think you can also do this with free account. I'm really not sure how much data you can see, but if you could get uh, account if you are into the OSINT and this kind of for adversary emulation or pen testing kind of stuff, or if you are a casual researcher, I highly recommend if you could get a subscription, get it. And if you are a student, I think they have a student tier as well. I think you have to show some proof of identity, and they will give you a student account for free, essentially. Like they won't charge you anything. And on top of that, they also want kind of market you, like they won't be spamming you. Like that is the best thing. Like, and these guys means business. So okay, now the second one is really um interesting, because the second one is the screen capture of a machine that has been infected with ransomware. And I found it with just one simple query. One single query is underscore screenshot colon true. And after that, they were okay. No, I think that was the query for the third one. For this one, I ran the query. Your system has been hacked. Double quotes, and I got these. So you can also search by this, and this particular one is underscore screenshot colon true. I got few images, few couple of them were the live cam recordings, and this was actually a live cam recording when I captured it. So this particular piece of red banner that you can see, I have kind of removed, scrubbed, damaged, like unclear whatever the word is. So it was a real timestamp, and it was it is something you will see if you use Sodan. It will give you a lot of this, and it's a really interesting piece of technology. With that, here comes the twin brother, not twin, but it's kind of similar with some extra features. We'll see that in a moment. So it is also similar to the Shodan, and it differs because it has more detailed informations, and you can run the queries without signing up, which is not possible with the Shodan, because you need to have an account before you could run queries. So we have a couple of images here, and in the leftmost one, you can see I ran one query, and this query was this welcome on console with some um, shell with something, and it gave me this 219 host with this particular banner. All right, that is fine. And in the second one, in the middle one, we can see like I ran a simple query on the same IP address that I received, that I ran the query. Okay, I think my highlighter is not visible. So this one I kind of did the same with the one with the Shodan, and the result was identical, except this gave me this is Cloudflare load balancer, which Shodan didn't do. And this again highlights the point that you cannot rely on one single tool whenever you are whenever you are conducting an investigation, whenever you are looking for piece of intel, or whenever you are doing OSINT, or whenever you are even researching, or even when you are searching. Like, you cannot rely on a single source, and that is of utmost important. Just make sure that you are not relying on a single piece, because that could be really dangerous, or that could turn the things negatively in your favor, or even in the favor of your investigation. So keep that in mind, and with that we will move to this third one. So this third one is actually a query I run. I think it is for detecting Merlin C2 servers, and at this time I ran, I think 13,228 machines were running um, Merlin C2 with the default settings. I think like all of the queries that I have run, I have a resource section, and you will find them labeled, so you can also go to the links, and you can also try out these queries. Just once again, please don't do any harm, and if you identify that something sensitive is exposed, make sure you contact the relevant authorities, because at this time it's someone else. Next time it could be you, me, it could be someone you care about, and just you get the idea. All right. So I think we have um, I think we have reached the very end of the slide. So um this is right now what we have done was, it was all the manual stuff. We went to the browsers, we did all of this stuff, like we typed queries, we did all this, and we get results. And that is uh what something some not something that is something that is someone who is either entering the field, or they are pivoting, or they should at least try to do things manually before they try to automate. This is how things should be. You should um, if you let's say you drive a car, you should at least learn to drive stick before you move to the automatic, because in case you don't have, in case there is an emergency and you have to drive the car, but there is no automatic, you have to drive the stick, and but you know how to drive a car, but you don't know how to drive a stick, so that could not be favorable scenario. So keep that in mind, and try to do the things manually first before you try to automate them, because if you have a gist of how things work manually, even automating them, or if there is some issue with the automation, you could also troubleshoot it very quickly. With this how to automate, so there are softwares like Maltigo is there, Recon ng is there. Maltigo is GUI, Recon ng is your CLI based, and then there are websites like OSINT frameworks, Intel techniques. like I have the links for these website in the resources. You can look, or you can also write custom tools based on your use cases. So let's talk about that particular Discord scenario. So if you want to see what someone is playing on their Spotify playlist, what they are listening to, so you could write a bot, or you could write a crawler, or some piece of software that will check that profile every this minute, or every the second, and they will report it back. Okay, this song is playing now, this song is playing now, and then you can correlate. Okay, if this song was playing for this time, you get the idea, right? So with this, if any of you are Twitch streamers, not streamers, if any of you watch Twitch, I know I watch Twitch. I have some favorite streamers which I try to watch whenever I get the time. So there is one very interesting piece of software, Nightbot, and you type some commands, and it gives you some output. but like I could never really figure out how I can see all the commands that were run. So I did some digging. I did some research and I came up with this particular. Okay, I think this one is not highlighted. So I came up with this one, like this nightbot.tv dash slash username slash commands. So if you run this, and let's actually run this. So this is the YouTube channel of, so not YouTube, this is the Twitch channel of the Cyber Mentor, aka Heath Adams, owner of TCM Security. He does a lot of streams, and this is like all of the commands that the Nightbot has. And you can also get it for like any of these streamers, and you just have to like exchange a single username with the whatever the name of the user, the Twitch streamer that you want to see the commands of. Like it could also have different parameters other than commands. I didn't look much into it. I got what I wanted. I got the information that I needed, and I just kind of left it at that. Like if you could explore, find something that is really interesting, let the world know, let someone else know, because you never know what information you're sharing. It could be helping someone else. Like it could not be of your relevance, but someone else could be benefited from that. So with these words, these are the resources. The video will be uploaded on our YouTube in either today or tomorrow. I think latest by tomorrow it should be uploaded. And once it is uploaded, we'll also update our website with all these materials. So you can also get this PPT from there, and then you can see all the like links that I have mentioned. And like I really wanted to include much of this. Like I really wanted to cover some of these stuff, like reverse image search and what I have discovered with that particular technique. And it was really creepy, scary, hilarious at the same time. And I really wished I could have shown you that, but it would have like violated at least I think one of the YouTube policies, and I really didn't want that. So maybe I could show that sometime. Like it is really interesting thing. All right. So with these words, like these are the resources, and thank you for your time. Really appreciate you guys taking almost 2 hours. Like it's almost from the start time. It's almost 1 hour and 47 minutes. So thank you guys and for being with me. And if you okay, I'll see if there is any questions. And I really don't know how to check questions. Questions. Okay, questions. Pop smoke. Yeah, pop smoke. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that was, sorry, I mispronounced. Like I didn't remember the name, but that video like really like it struck. Like it was something like because it was something real. Like who could have thought that someone could be murdered over over couple photos? Like it was like yeah, appreciate the info. I have to drop off. You did great. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for listening. And if you dropped up earlier, this video will be on YouTube, so you could once it is uploaded, you could kind of listen it from that. And I think we don't have any questions. Other questions I cannot see. An example of Twitter search operator. Twitter search operator. I really do not have one in mind. Just give me 1 minute. Let me see if I can find in my notes. But if you ask me, like I could tell you, like if you are using Google document side of things, so what you can do is like you can write a site colon twitter.com, and then you can like kind of query whatever information you want from it. So it will essentially be giving you the same amount of stuff, but I'm looking into the notes. So let me see if I can find an operator for you. Yeah, so one of the operators is from operator. So if you're using the from operator, you can essentially kind of like it is kind of the site operator that we use in the Google Docking. So if you are using from, it is from that particular user search this. So you could use it like that. Does that answer your question, or like if you have something specific in mind, do let me know. Like if I do not have the answer, I'll try to dig it up and like I'll try to give you the answer. That's okay. Thanks. Yeah, welcome, man. Thank you. So I think we don't have any other questions. Like I am unable to see. Ma'am, can you see questions?
Vijit?
Yeah, like are you able to see more questions? Like I am unable to see more questions. Like the last one I can see is that's okay, thanks, and there is nothing in the chat. So is if there is no other question, we can like close the session.
Yeah, I am also not seeing any other questions as of now. So yeah, like we can like end this webinar.
Okay, so I really don't know, so I'll just go back to mute and once again, thank you guys and girls, and like I should be generally neutral. So thank you all, everyone, for being there, for listening to me rant, and for being part of this particular my very first webinar. Like, thank you for making this a really memorable one. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great night. Bonzu. Hola. Thank you. Shabba khair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. We are ending this webinar. Thank you all for your time and joining this webinar. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.